How's everybody doing? How's everybody's evening, morning, day, night, afternoon? How's everybody doing? I'm so glad to be here and talking to everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Hopefully you can see me. Apologies, I was a little late. I know Jeff Janek will get so upset with me, but Remy's been having some stomach issues, so I had to, take some time. Unfortunately, our guest today, who many of you know, was so gracious with their time as well. So hopefully everybody's doing well. But y'all are in for a treat because we have a Shades of Purple with someone an interview where this whole program started. And I am so excited. I got to talk to him briefly behind I guess behind the curtain or backstage, that's the term we use. And yeah, gaming journey, here we come. But with that said, I want to bring in the one, the only Inniyolk, and she teased that she may have her camera. So let's see. Let's go check in on this. Inniyolk, are you there?
Hello.
Oh,
Yes, we're
oh
here.
my goodness, Inniyolk, you look just
So,
like I thought you would look
yeah,
like. You, like
I
you
did,
like hibiscus right there and everything. I love it.
I did tell you guys I was an egg in real life. Just kidding though. Should we just
Yeah,
go?
let's do it.
Okay,
I'll pull you off and then we'll
Oh,
bring you on. Okay. So they're gonna get in there. All right. So Inniyolk is showing their camera. How cool is that? A first on Shades of Purple. And so here we go. Inniyolk in 3, 2, 1. Here she is.
hi
Inniyolk,
everybody. We
how
have
are
like
you?
the egg squished in the back. Apologies, little egg. I'm doing good. How are you doing today? I know your dog. I really hope he gets better
He's
and stuff.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's right there. He's looking at us. He's wagging his tail, so I think like he got the most of it out of his system. But he's here nonetheless. So Inniyolk, oh my goodness. Okay, so y'all, the one, the only Inniyolk Gaming. So
Hi guys.
Inniyolk, we actually met first through Rudigs when we
Yeah.
were talking about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah,
Y-
and Rudigs, tipped me off to it was, Ray and Rock, they featured me on one of their channels, and so Rue came on my chat and was like, "Did you know they featured you?" And I was like, "Wait, I've heard of Rock. I watched his, like, cloud videos on, like, GeForce Now before and stuff." So,
Oh my
yeah.
goodness, so full circle, and we're gonna talk about cloud because I think you're in the cloud community, for gaming there for a second, and I think you still are. You still do
Oh, yeah.
Xbox Cloud play. You're in it to win it.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm still playing on my laptop, which doesn't play a lot of games well. It's actually a pretty good laptop. It's a MacBook Pro, but those who are MacBook users know you can't really play Cyberpunk at 4K on it. So I really still enjoy cloud gaming. I'm technically partnered with Boosteroid, but
nice.
yeah, they like it was weird. They reached out to me when I was like 40 subscribers and stuff. And yeah, and I just check out every single cloud gaming offering there is. So, yeah.
No, that's uber and we had Vet Cloud Gaming or what is Vet's name? Vet is a booster, was a Booster Rate partner
Ooh.
as well, and I think Ray is. I think we have a couple of them. So that's super awesome. But the question everybody, we ask everybody, and you definitely have an interesting one. Any yolk? Where's the name come from?
It's kind of an amalgamation of my name and my nickname. I made it when I started my foray into online gaming. And those who know me and see my streams know that I'm terrified of like playing with people online and stuff. So I was playing Friday the 13th with Jason when it was just came out and was popular on the I think PS4 at the time. And I didn't want anyone to know I was a female, like I guess that's a common thing. So I wanted my nickname was Linny. And so Linny was, I guess, people would think I'm a girl. I wasn't on mic or anything. And then I decided to put the L at the end of Linny. So it became Inniyolk. N-E-L, and I was like, "That sounds like Inniyol," and then what if I add K at the end? I'll just make it Inniyolk. Inniyolk. So
Oh,
it's
wow.
a weird amalgamation of my nickname.
Okay, and so it has not but you have the egg.
Yeah.
So is it like your favorite I was like fruit, but eggs aren't fruits.
I love eggs. I cook a lot of eggs. And so I think because it had yolk at the end, I just kind of stuck with it and decided to. I have on my whiteboard, like, oh, when I start this channel, maybe I'll just like draw a crude egg and put a face and a flower on it. And then it just kind of took on a life of its own. And then some people in chat started like calling themselves like yolkies and stuff. I don't know if everybody likes to be called that, but yeah, I'm like, "Okay, we'll go with the egg thing."
Oh my goodness. So, all right.
All
So
mugs are
the
good. Yep.
so your thumbnail, your image online, you drew that.
Yeah, just like, first on MS Paint and then, just made different variations on, like, Procreate, just kind of crudely. I do a lot of art on MS Paint, actually. It's probably my
Wow.
favorite tool to do art on.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
And so and then you have like your is that like the official Inniyolk behind you? Like
Yes, so I went to Joann Fabrics, and I always kind of I was like, "Would it be cool to have, like, a little plushie or pillow?" And so, my boyfriend, who I call EPS, and I went, and he helped me pick out the fabric, and I just kinda made this from scratch, and yeah, so might make miniature versions. He was even suggesting, like, make a dozen little ones to put in a carton or something.
oh my goodness. So this you're like this like because Robolica is really good with like making stuff as well. So like there might be some kind of community here. Like I
Yeah,
wonder.
I'd love to learn more because this is a very first pillow I made, and I'm not like a crocheter, I'm not a like sewer at all. If I do any art, it's mostly just like drawing, but yeah, I don't know, I'm happy with how it turned out, but this was my first ever like sewing project, I guess. So, yeah.
No, well, it came out well because we know what it should look like, and it looks like that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think that's super cool.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Gotta go get any.
Decided to run away a little
The
bit. But anyways, I'll find him. Oh, she's behind me.
I know there was a Humpty Dumpty. I guess they all like to do the same thing,
Yeah,
you know?
falling off the wall.
Falling off walls and desks and stuff like that.
Yes,
So
so
so before we get into your gaming journey, because you say you liked eggs, and
mhm.
I love eggs, and it seems like we have people in chat who love eggs. What is your favorite egg recipe?
So recently it's been, eggs Benedict. I've been trying to make that with salmon a lot. Sorry, I'm, like, moving my mic closer. But yeah, I've been trying to perfect hollandaise sauce, and it is, like, one of the hardest things ever.
I've
So
heard this.
I've been making a lot of that, yeah.
No, well, hey, go for it. So, my mom and we are. I know it's really basic, but it's actually, like people think the console wars are a big deal. Like when to salt your scrambled eggs is like
Oh.
a huge, huge debate. And
Hmm.
so we've been like testing this out, like how to make the the the, the perfect scrambled eggs for us because we've
So
come to yeah.
which would you recommend? Like, during or after?
I don't. I
Are you
may
gonna
lose.
get hate on this from
I
your
know. I
family?
know. I may lose subscribers for this, but what I would suggest is it really depends on the egg, right? Like, so I will say that really depends on the egg, but generally, I'm gonna say after.
Ooh. Ah. Yeah, I was raised mixing it in, mixing the salt
Very super.
and black pepper in, and because I'm, Southeast Asian, fish sauce with it as well.
Oh, you got to
So
do fish on everything.
yeah, mixing it in. But yeah, I could talk about like the eggs. Oh, I just remembered there's another favorite of mine. It's the ramen egg where you soak it in the hard boiled ones where you soak in
And it just takes it
the soy
all in.
sauce.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's so good.
goodness.
I feel like I can't have any hard boiled egg any other way. But for me, I like soft boiled, so gotta have
Oh,
it ready.
oh my goodness. We could talk about I could I think that's another channel, like,
Yeah, yeah.
Eggs with Inniyolk. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have my kinda, like, cooking channel, which I, like, talk about other things too, but yeah, do some cooking. I made some eggs benedict on that other channel and other egg dishes among just yeah. Cooking is definitely one of my passions for sure.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Well, we may be coming back to that because we're gonna talk about your streaming journey and all of that, but first, we have to ask this question as well, just like we asked about the name. Um, where did it all begin with you in gaming?
Yeah, it as long as I can remember, I was playing so I'm a 90s 90s girl, and so I grew up with a Super Nintendo with my older brother, and I was probably playing that since I was, like, 8 or 9 at least. I think the first game I played that I remember is Donkey Kong Country.
Oh,
And so that's where it kind of all started. It at first was because my brother was into it, and then I just like would follow him everywhere, of course. And then it ended up being like I would finish the games that he wouldn't finish. And so it kind of started from there. And so I've been like going through the consoles since then. And but Super Nintendo was not even the first console, the oldest console I played. My uncle had his old ColecoVision, which is kind of the Atari days.
yeah,
So we had access to the ColecoVision, and that was so fun to play. We had our friends over to play it with they had if anybody played the ColecoVision, it looked like kind of one of those the controller looked like a phone because it had a
right.
number pad and a little dial at the top. So we were playing a bunch of games with that.
Wow, so you were like doing retro gaming before it was a thing.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, it definitely was just something like my uncle shared with us, and we just caught on to it and had a lot of fun with it, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, Coleco. So we talked, you mentioned Rock earlier. Rock brings up ColecoVision. Clive, there's a whole group of them who brought up ColecoVision. So that's really cool because you're kind of like not from that era of when the Coleco was a big deal, but you still played it. So you're still like very much have an appreciation for it. So that's super, super, super cool. And so you kind of said Super Nintendo. Is that your favorite system of all time or
Hmm, I
no?
have my most nostalgia from the PS1 or PS2. So we kinda switched from Nintendo to PlayStation House. So we went to PS1 and PS2, and, that's some of my favorite gaming memories, just playing games from, like, Tony Hawk Pro Skater to, like, even Cool Borders, and then that was, like, my first foray getting into Final Fantasy. I played Final Fantasy X on there. And so I think that was my most nostalgic thing growing up, but as my favorite, I mean, it's kinda hard to beat PC gaming nowadays.
Oh my goodness. So you are all about the PC. Yeah.
Sorry, console people, but I don't know. I've been noodling buying a console, but currently I don't have one. And I mean, yeah, there's just so much available on PC now. It's like really accessible for a lot of people, especially with cloud gaming. So yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, that's interesting. So you separate those two. You separate cloud from PC, or you no you. They're inclusive of each other.
I would think so. Yeah, because with cloud gaming, it's kind of like gives you access to a PC. But it's like a PC somewhere else in a data center, maybe sometimes in another country. But yeah.
Could be. So let's, we're gonna jump around a little bit because you normally go through like your whole story. I would ask you questions about like, well, what about 64 or blah blah blah.
Oh yeah.
But because you are a cloud, because you came in, you were a cloud gamer, correct? Like in the
Yes.
community. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't even know, of a community before, but I happened upon Google Stadia in the end of 2020, and then my first game that I played on there was Cyberpunk, and it played absolutely beautifully. Maybe there was one time where I clipped into that Arasaka Tower memorial site, and I was like, "Why am I inside?" But, like, that was kind of funny to me, but it played absolutely gorgeous, and I fell in love with the game, I fell in love with cloud gaming, and, I still miss those days.
Oh my goodness, so you got into it during that huge like, free controller,
Yep,
free everything with the
got
purchase of
my
Cyberpunk.
got the Stadia controller
Oh
with
my
it with this one
goodness!
has little, like, pads on it because I keep scratching up my pads, but, yeah, I got my Stadia controller with the game, and, yeah, it was awesome, and also introduced me to a ton of different games, like indie games that I've never heard of before, yeah.
I think, Stadia was one of the cool things that I think gets under talked about, doesn't get appreciated about Stadia that I really appreciated. Yeah, I guess that saying the same thing. Either way, was the curation of the library. Like everybody
Yeah.
was like, "Hey, with tons of games," but I think there was a lot of thought put into that library because like some of those same publishers or developers, like I still like their games. Like there was something that they tapped into that I thought like was super super cool. And I think you mentioned a little bit of that. So would you say Cyberpunk was your favorite Stadia game?
Oh, yeah, definitely, by
Oh, really?
far. It's I feel like I've been playing it again on my channel recently, and I feel like it's slowly becoming my favorite game, to
Of
be
all
honest.
time.
Maybe, yeah, it's weird because The Witcher, I would say The Witcher 3 specifically is probably my favorite of all time, and I feel like I'm such a CD Project Red
That's what I
fanboy,
was about to
fangirl right
say.
now. Like,
I was like,
okay,
you're
I love
loving that.
yeah, I'm like, I'm loving everything you put out. I'll like love it. So maybe there's like a bias there as well. But I've been playing it again, and yeah, it's definitely my favorite game I played on Stadia. There's
W
some really good ones, other ones that like made me cry that I played through Stadia as well. But yeah,
Ooh, which
yeah.
ones? Which ones?
Um, so Welcome to Elk was one that I cried a ton. it's
Oh my
but
goodness.
it's a really good game because even though some of the gameplay might be a little bit rudimentary, it makes you laugh, makes you cry. It's on my like tier list. I think I'm gonna like I have like a little like games that made me cry video on my channel. That was definitely one
That's
of them.
definitely Lo-Fi Monk is a big, Welcome to Elk fan as well, so, I hear this a lot about the emotional like, the stories that are told in that game because it's like a
Yeah.
bunch of like, a bunch of different things characters on this
Yes.
island, right?
Definitely, and it goes through a bunch of different stories, kind of a vignette of people's stories, so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Any others? I'm curious
That
if
made me cry
yeah.
or ooh.
Yeah, just your favorite games on Stadia, like, I feel like we
Oh, yeah, on Stadia. I'm trying to think of others that I actually completed, um, because, there are a bunch I tried that I guess I didn't really complete. Those are the 2 that stick out. I did have a lot of fun with Hot Wheels when I played it on there. I played it for a bit, like, right before it ended. I
Oh, Hot
yeah, that
Wheels.
one was fun, and, there was one where you had to kinda, like, sing in the it was, like, one hand clapping. I didn't finish that, but I
Yes.
thought it was really interesting concept and stuff for sure.
One hand clapping. Oh my goodness, you're bringing up all of those, and out of commission,
Yeah.
yes, we have a face reveal, they're talking about Zal,
Hi,
Legend of
guys.
Zara. Um, yes, we have the one, the only Inniyolk here today with us. So grateful, to have her. Well, if you haven't played it, another one I thought was, like, because I have, like, a similar list, like, I have, like, the ones that, like, provoke an emotion, and it's for different ones reasons, is, Valiant Hearts. I don't know
Mm.
if you've
I
ever played that one.
haven't heard that one. I
It
love that, this community recommends also games that I've never heard of as well, and then I fall in love with them, and sometimes I cry a lot, but yeah,
yeah,
I'll have to check that one out.
Valiant Hearts is a cool one. It's like if you're it's like historical fiction, World War One type of stuff, but, it's kind of like it's a cute game, and they have the DLC for or I don't even know if you would call it they have, like, a part 2 that just came out last year, so,
Oh, very cool.
yeah, if you have that one. So you did Stadia, you did cloud, that introduced you to cloud gaming, and then you started to I'm imagining, like, that starts to go away. Were you, like, only a Stadia type, or had you, like, started playing a little bit on Luna, a little bit on Game Pass, or was it just Stadia?
At the time, it was just Stadia, and then when I heard it was leaving, then I was like, "Okay, is there anything else out there?" And, I haven't tested Luna. I have a love-hate relationship with Amazon, I guess,
I hear
and
you.
yeah, and I guess, so the only other ones I've tried so far were then I got into GeForce Now and then Boosteroid, and then recently I got into Xbox Cloud, I guess. Yeah, just testing that out. So I definitely I mean, I'm not opposed to trying Luna. Um, just something is, like, telling me t like, pushing me away from it for some reason.
Really?
Yeah.
That's all.
Probably
Go ahead.
yeah, maybe because, like, the offerings are available on GeForce Now and Boosteroid too, yeah.
Yeah, I think I have this similar relationship with, xCloud. It's like this love-hate type of relationship, but
Yeah.
I'm been liking Ubisoft, and Luna's, like, the easiest place to
Mhm.
to do Ubisoft, in the cloud. When I do the cloud, like,
Yeah.
I technically have been moving away, as some of the audiences know, from the cloud, but I'm glad you're still doing it. Waving the cloud flag, letting it people know it's a pretty accessible way to game. It's pretty high quality games. So,
Yeah,
yeah. For
definitely.
so, you know, so that's your cloud journey, but let's talk a little bit about, like, your streaming journey. Like, what started you into content creation and going that way?
Yeah, there's kinda 2 different stories of content creation versus streaming. So I think with streaming, I started it at probably the tail end of 2022, so almost 2 years ago. And I b before then, I was kind of using the Stadia streaming just to stream to my friends, but I remember one time, we accidentally put it live. I'm like, "Oh my god, no, we don't want it live." So it was, like, very private, and during the pandemic, I was, like, not hanging out with anybody. I felt like I wasn't talking to anybody, so I was like, "Let me just, like, stream to myself and maybe 1 or 2 friends so I could, like, practice talking." It was weird. It's like, practice talking and just so I could actually have a conversation when we get out of the pandemic again. And then the year 2022 was very significant to me because I that was probably the year that the most change happened in my life. And this might get a little bit sappy, but I am a breast cancer survivor,
Oh my
and I
goodness.
had breast cancer when I was in my 20s. And so 2022 is like my 5-year anniversary. Luckily, like I'm clear, like been cancer free. And for those who know of cancer, or have had cancer, unfortunately, you know that like 5 years is like the mark where it's like usually a milestone that after 5 years, a lot of times it doesn't come back. And so that 2022 was also the year that like 2 big YouTubers that I followed died from cancer. Some might have heard of Technoblade, the big Minecraft YouTuber, and another one was kind of smaller, but I followed her because she was like a breast cancer. I tried to like follow anyone that was like doing breast cancer content, and so she was my age, and she had a reoccurrence, and she ended up passing away that year. And so that was kind of the beginning of 2022, and I was thinking like I wanted to start my other channel, which is my cooking Linda Says Things channel, and I really wanted to start that first and be like, I wanna share not only, like, cooking or stuff about life, but also I have my cancer journey on there too, and I just wanted to put it out there whether people see it or not. And also, I kind of was, like, thinking, "If I have a kid and if I were to die when they're young, maybe they'll see these videos," but
Oh.
that's really morbid. But don't really think about that anymore. And then on top of that, I was like, well, I've always liked playing games, and other people have said like you should start streaming. So I decided to make a gaming channel like alongside that. It was so putting myself out there was more like those happenings. But But actually, my very first time on YouTube was much, much earlier than that. Much, much earlier. I started a YouTube channel when I was 15, and it's still there. And I might still add to it every now and then. It's a music channel, and so where I play guitar and do some mediocre singing and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
wow. So, um, well, first off, um, just bravo for beating cancer. Fingers crossed. Like, for that. And we got Lo-Fi, we have Out of Commission, so many other David Wilson, everybody. Thank you for sharing that. You know,
yeah,
and so it's
and
actually interesting. Breast cancer is a big thing on my mom's side of the family. So like we are my grandmother, I don't think I ever mentioned that. My grandmother actually passed away from breast cancer, and so it's always a thing for the women on my mother's side, every year for our screening. So, um, I don't know, like that's amazing. That shows like so much strength. And again, just thank you for sharing that. And I can only imagine like the strength that takes, and then to kind of turn it into kind of your streaming journey in a way that's like super super cool. And you said it's morbid, but you'll be surprised, several people have actually talked about YouTube as kind of their legacy when they've come on Shades of Purple. So yeah, so there's a
ooh,
couple of people there, and I think it's more of a celebration
yeah.
than morbid
And the
in a way.
comments are so nice in chat, by the way, from Out of Commission Roster, everybody. So thanks for those comments in chat.
Oh yeah. Well, you know this crew. That's what I say. That's the cool thing about the community. Like, it's I think it's super cool community. So if there's nothing else Stadia did besides give us free controllers, it is bring us together. Some like-minded gamers, and so obviously, so you have your cooking channel, you have your music channel, and you have your gaming channel. So you're like
Yeah.
all over, and you're like an original OG YouTuber then.
I think I got addicted to YouTube when it first came out. Like, YouTube is I watch all my shows, everything. Yeah, I grew up with YouTube basically.
Wow.
So, yep.
No, I'm right there. Like, I think YouTube started coming. There was like two video sites back when I first heard about YouTube. It was like YouTube, and then there was another one called That Video Site.
Might have come across that. Yeah.
Yeah, they were like the two different sites. And then there was another one called X2, but we're not gonna talk about that one. But there was like those things. And then I at the time I didn't quite, it was like like I would have soldiers who would just be like, "Hey ma'am, have you seen this video?" And then they would pull it up on YouTube and or something. Because it was like when I was earlier in my army career. But yeah, I think that's super cool that you're into it. Like, is that one monetized?
No, it's probably got like 20
Oh,
subscribers. So when I made the videos, I don't think they had monetization yet, but I got like I don't know, I was really proud of this. I got like 14,000 views on like probably my most watched one, and comments and stuff. And I think one girl put one of my songs on her MySpace, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." But nothing okay, I have to warn you guys, it's not good. Okay. I think I
14,000 views? That's pretty
yeah.
good.
Like, I mean, my skill level, I think, is not good. The views are amazing. Like, I find a hard time getting that many views today and stuff, which is not like a complaint or anything. But yeah, even back then, I think, yeah, it was before monetization was on, and I was gonna mention something else, but I was gonna say, the performance level, the skill level, not anything to like be impressed by, but I actually hid the videos because I was so embarrassed by them when I was making these videos at 15, 16. But recently re remade them public and stuff to kind of just show the journey because I want to improve that
Yes.
skill. So yeah.
Okay. And this is you said, is it singing video?
Yeah, singing. So it's like the actual tag is like at Linda Say Music, and it's like covers of like the Beatles and some other songs, or like a few really bad original songs. Singing, guitar, and maybe some keyboard slash piano. Yeah.
Oh my god. So you can sing.
I try. I think I
Oh.
tried to take singing lessons, like, recently, actually, because it was just, like, something I wanna do. I love karaoke, and I'm usually the first one to be I'm the one to plan karaoke, and I'm the one to start karaoke. I'm an okay singer.
Oh my good I mean, I'm
I
not gonna put you on the spot, but I will ask you, do you wanna showcase some of your singing now?
Oh, I don't know, I don't know.
What's like okay, so, like, so karaoke, you have, like,
I'm kind of
3 types of
shy.
people.
Yeah.
You got 3 types of people who go to karaoke, right?
Mhm.
You're obviously a frequent karaokeer.
I love karaoke.
And so, like, you have you have the ringer, the ones who can actually, like, sing, right? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
so you're, like, in that category. Then you have the people who are, like, the reluctant, like, "I'm going with you because we're friends,"
Oh, yeah, I
and,
have
like,
yeah.
that's me, right? Like, I'm like, I'm not the singer. And then you have, like, the random drunk, like,
Yeah,
so
I would say I even if I'm not drunk, I like to just get up there and just act a fool. Sometimes I honestly get annoyed by the ringers. I get
no.
annoyed by how good they are.
It sounds like you're good, though.
Sometimes. I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I feel like I just wanna go and have fun and, like, put on a song that is good for everybody too, but okay, this is where my judgmental side comes on. If I see someone that goes up there is really good, it kind of ruins the mood. I'm just like
Oh my god.
it's like, okay, we actually have to like let's but it depends where you are too, because open mics, I appreciate those and stuff. And some singers are really pleasant to listen to and stuff. But yeah. I don't know. I just think it's a good time. And just kind of to let loose. And yeah, I definitely have a few friends who are like, I hate karaoke, never invite me again. And so I'm like, okay, I understand.
Oh, no. I'm not like I'm like the type, like, I'll go because I think it always ends up becoming a good time. It's like one of those
Yeah.
things, like, where, like, regardless of my mood going in, like, I always leave, like, in a positive mood.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so, and then, the chat like, I live in New York, and so, like, when we go to karaoke, um, it's almost without fail, not like a small, like, karaoke, like, where you get your own room, but, like, an actual one where it's, like, everybody. Without fail, we always have someone who is on Broadway, like, who just they're maybe not still on it, but they'll just come and they'll, like, do a Disney song, and you're like, "Well, that was amazing." They're like, "Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to be on the I was Simba, blah, blah, blah," and you're like, "Oh."
Wow.
You're like, "Yeah, oh, wow." Like, so, but do you have a favorite tune? Like,
Um,
not ju
yeah, I guess, like, I've always sung, like, the songs by The Weeknd in there, like,
okay.
just I do love Queen songs. My favorite song to sing is "Don't Stop Me Now," and so I've definitely belted that out a few times on stage, probably very badly too. Um, and yeah, just, Whitney Houston. I can't sing like Whitney, of course, but I just I wanna dance with somebody. That one usually gets the crowd started, just like it's fun. And
Yeah.
sometimes I sing that with friends too, and Spice Girls.
Oh
Mhm.
my goodness. So, I mean, can do you wanna do a Blinding Lights or,
Oh, Blinding Light I think, like, it's like with The Weekend, it's oh, man, I feel like I haven't sung in a while, though, so I'm usually like, "I can't feel my face," and then I sing, like, off key on purpose and stuff.
oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have to, but we would love it. We would love it. We've had some other just in case you run across them, Main Games
Oh,
is a big singer, and so is Obi Rose Kenobi.
yeah, I guess, like, one that I wanna make a cover of is, really random, but, like, Willy Wonka's, whatever that song's called, like, "Come with
Me
me and you'll see in a world of pure imagination, da da da." I forgot the words. So something like that. I'm thinking of doing, like, a guitar melody to that or finding one online, finding a tab online I could copy.
That was so good! Like, that was, like, really good.
Oh.
I I think that would be super cool as well, because obviously I, it's a really pretty song. You know,
Yeah,
it's
I
very
like it.
iconic. It's a very iconic. It's interesting. You have a very eclectic, um, category there. You went,
I
like, The
I listen
Weeknd.
to a lot of different things. The only thing is, like, I don't listen to folk, but I do like some bluegrass and folksy stuff, but, one of the, first dates EPS and I went on, he was playing, like, Bare Naked Ladies on the radio, and I only like their one song, right? The one that's, like, I don't know how it goes, the one that
And
goes really fast, but then
yeah.
I never heard their other songs, and I was like I was kinda honestly drunk when he was driving me to, and I was like, "I don't like this folksy music," but, I do listen to a lot of different things, so that's probably the
Oh.
only one I don't like.
Oh, folk. Interesting. Well, you mentioned Queen, right? And we always have to ask people who
Love Queen.
understand classic rock, who have an appreciation for music, uh, greatest guitarist of all time. Seeing how you play guitar,
Um,
you
so I always say Sinister Gates from Avenged Sevenfold because I love the way he plays. It almost sounds like he's playing like a Mario game soundtrack sometimes, but it sounds so amazing. So Sinister Gates, I can't believe I forgot his name, but the guitarist from Rage Against the Machine. I went to his concert. He just it was just him on stage. Tom, I'm so bad at this, but he's amazing. His guitar, like the guitars that like don't sound like anything else. He makes it sound like outer worldly and stuff. But yeah, those are some of my favorites. Let's see. Of course, Santana is a classic. I love like the Spanish sounding, like kind of beats too. And so I want to try to learn the mandolin and stuff. So that's really fun. Yeah.
Tom Welling, Browser King.
Um,
Is
was
it?
it Tom Welling? I think it was
I
or
don't.
Rage Against the Machine guitarist,
Ambi's a really big one who would probably know.
Tom Morello.
Tom Morello.
He's amazing. I saw him in concert. It was just him on the stage, and he was like the best performance. It was like a bunch of different artists, and of course,
That one destroyed it. That was amazing. No, that's super awesome.
yeah.
Look at you. Well, knowing all, hey geek, how's it going? I see Cherry Man also came in there. And there goes Roster, Tom Morello, and David Wilson. Everybody, Wit, I saw you earlier. Thank you so much for stopping by. Just talking to Inniyolk here. She was so gracious. She's showing her face on camera. Yeah, there it goes. That is Inniyolk, and she made that. Wit
Oh
is
yeah.
another person who is really into designs, and she has her own channel where she um, does a lot of different patterns. So shout out to Wit as well. All these creators in multiple ways. So super cool. So if you're just joining us, and talked to so far has told us favorite system, nostalgic is definitely PS1, PS2. But she is all about the PC Master Race now, y'all. She's done with it. She said there's so many different things you can do on PC. Um,
I don't own a PC,
but
but I am part of the PC fan club for sure.
oh my god, this is the weirdest thing. This
No,
is the weirdest. You don't own a PC,
no.
but you rep PC. And
Yeah.
but actuality is you are a partner for a cloud gaming company. Like
Yeah, I don't know
it
how
is
that
like
worked out.
everywhere.
I
Like,
actually own a Mac, but I have an older one where I just play through boot camp. I never use my Mac anymore, it's all through boot camp, so
oh my goodness. So, is it down here? Oh, so it's up. I have 2 different places. I have, like, my game room, I have my office is upstairs, and, Mac, I have 1 computer game on Mac, and I got it, 2007, which is Age of Empires 2. I've bought this game, like, 5 times throughout my lifetime, and I was just looking at it because it was, like, uh, Windows for Mac, or it says something interesting. It was, like, the first time, like, Windows put stuff on Mac. So that's my only journey with Mac. Actually, no, iPad. I had the Fruit Ninja game
Ooh. Oh,
because
yeah.
every
I do have an iPad, and I've been, kind of dabbling in Netflix gaming on there,
oh my good,
and yeah, it's
so, like,
interesting.
Ninja Guy X does Netflix, or
Yeah.
is he VR now, y'all? I forget. Ninja, if you're out there, let us know. So what do you have you been playing on Netflix gaming?
Yeah, so I've been playing, I started San Andreas, GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City. I played a little bit of Hades, and yeah, the performance has been great, just amazing on there. So I've been really impressed, and it just comes with at no extra cost. Like almost everybody has Netflix, so yeah.
So when you're playing Netflix gaming on your phone, or
So you could play it on your phone or I guess any tablet.
okay.
Yeah. Or just I don't know if it's just for Apple iPad, though it might just be Apple, but I currently have it on my iPad, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I actually do a lot of, cloud gaming through my iPad too, and it's not like the best I don't know, it's not as polished to record it, but yeah, I've played Cyberpunk through, like of course, you could have the GeForce Now and Boosteroid app on your tablet and, like, Cyberpunk, Baldur's Gate, others like that
Oh
on
my
yeah,
goodness.
mobile.
So you are definitely all into that cyberpunk. Like,
I yeah.
you're and what did you think of the DLC?
Oh, it was amazing. Yep, so I was able to play it day 1 on Boosteroid, and, it played amazing. It was a great story, it made me cry as well, and Elba's character
Of
was
course.
phenomenal. Like, that's him in there, you know, like, his
His
mannerisms and
his
just, like, the
demeanor, no, I
acting.
totally
Yeah,
agree. I totally agree with that one.
him with an
Um,
American accent, but yeah.
I mean, we've seen it before
Yeah.
on The Wire. He did the
Oh, I need to
American
watch that. Yeah.
The Wire, yeah, a lot. My brother, is a big I think a couple of people in chat are huge Wire fans, so I've never seen it, like, end to end. It's like one of those where I've seen a few episodes here and there. But yeah, supposedly, like, I forget his name on The Wire, like, because I know him from Luther, you know?
Oh,
Oh.
he's the main guy,
Yeah,
Luther?
he is Luther. Like,
Oh, he was in
he
The Wire. Oh,
yeah, he's in The Wire as,
yeah,
like, he's kind of like not the main character in The Wire, but he's a I forget, significant character. I don't know.
yeah,
But in Luther, he is TSI Luther. So he's like the main character. And I like um detective crime
yeah.
drama type of shows. So
I
that's
heard it was long, though, so I
what
feel like I might start it and not finish it as
which one? The
well.
Wire?
Yeah, The Wire.
Yeah, I mean it's like any of the how many seasons are The Wire, y'all? I think it's like 5 or 6, but it's an HBO series. So they're
Oh,
like 8 or 10 episodes a season.
mhm.
Um Not like Gotham, which is another great TV series, but that's like 25 episodes a season.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. Gotham is long, but it's good. I like Gotham. I don't know why I brought that up, but I like
No, that's we could
Gotham.
talk about, like, speaking of shows that I guess for me, I don't know if I can't remember the last time I've watched a whole series through because it's good in the beginning, like the beginning seasons, and then it drops off, like Dexter.
Oh my goodness, Dexter. We could
Yeah,
so
I
Dex
know,
so
like
you so Dexter came up. Um, who was I talking to?
you had, like, one of the best prompts, like, for your chat. Like, what was it? It was, "Who is a bad guy that doesn't think or like who I forgot what the
Oh, which
prompt
one?
was.
What, where
Who
is
is the bad evil
a mo
character?
yeah, a movie where the bad guy wins? That
Oh, yeah,
one?
where the bad guy wins. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and, who said you said I think you were the one who brought up,
Yeah, I
uh
brought up Dexter being, like, a bad guy in the end, and
yeah,
he, I guess, win well,
ye
sorry, spoilers for you
ye
guys.
2 people messaged me later on to comment on that. Like, one person was just like, "Oh, yeah," like, they were just recapping the stuff, and another person, I'm not gonna say who they are, another person was adamant that Dexter is not a bad guy.
Not a bad
Yeah,
guy.
so they were like they were adamant about this, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, I don't know." So
Yeah, hmm.
so you're gonna say no, like, I
I
can
I enjoyed the show
you
up
just
until, like, the first 3 seasons, and then I think I kind of fell off and then came back at the very end, and I'm one of those people that thought he was a pretty bad guy from the beginning, though. I know that's a hot like, a lot of debate on that, though.
oh my god. So, Usual Suspects, yep, that was one that, like, it comes I always say, um, Swordfish? I don't know, that's a weird
Oh.
like, a lot of people don't know that movie. I guess, like, 20 years ago, it was, like, pretty popular, but it had this amazing explosion scene. I don't know if you've seen Swordfish, but I like, when it first came out, I was like, "Wow, that looks so cool."
Oh, it was like okay, this might be a spoiler as well, but was it the fake there was, like, a lot of fake deaths in that movie, but I it's been a
It's
while since I saw it.
yeah.
Was it did it have to do with that or
Yeah, so the actual explosion's a real explosion. Like,
Oh,
it's
okay.
an actual, like so the movie, it starts off with, like it's, like, in the middle of, like, the climax of the movie, that's how it starts off, and then it's, like, "Meanwhile, a week before," and then it, like, leads up
Oh.
to that moment, and then when they show that moment, it's, pretty cool. There's, like, a couple of movies that do that, where they do the explosion in the beginning. Um, but yeah, so Usual Suspects, Swordfish, there's a couple of them, depending on how you think of, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Like, that's a really interesting one, I think.
Hmm. I don't think I've seen that one completely, but I know that one is, like, no one is a completely good guy for
Yeah,
sure.
I think that's the whole I think The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is definitely it's an interesting one to, like, analyze from, like, just a entertainment purpose, when Clint Eastwood was somewhat attractive purpose, and then, kind of from, like, a movieology standpoint,
Mhm.
and to your point, like, everybody when you first say The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, like, they automatically kinda say who's the good, the bad, and the ugly, because the movie opens up like that, but by the end of it, you can realize how all of them could be the good, the bad,
Yeah,
and the
and
ugly.
that's what I love movies that do characters like that, but I think it's weird because I feel like everybody can have some that in them or, like, will do almost everybody might have to do bad things to get to something, whether it's, like, to I don't know, say w if you're talking about movie sense, like, to save their family or, like, they have to be violent or something to, like, I don't know, save their dog or yeah.
So, what we say so have you seen, like, s Marvel Infinity War?
Um, I'm probably not the best person, because
Okay.
I haven't been yeah, I've been kind of, like, staying away from Marvel movies as of recent.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Oh.
I don't know, I think it's, yeah, so I haven't seen it, no.
No, no worries, no worries. I was gonna ask about Kratos because that's another that
Kratos.
came
I
up before.
not related to God of War Kratos,
Or
or
not Kratos. Is it Kratos? Who's the really bad guy
well,
in Infinity
here's the
War?
thing. So I know that a lot of Thor's character and his and Loki, they're all based on Norse mythology, and I really like following Norse mythology and stuff. So I know that there's like a lot of kind of Kratos is like Norse mythology, so
Yeah.
there's a lot of characters that reflect that and have the same kind of background. So it could, I think, yeah, I think it
Yeah,
probably
let
is
me
referring to the same.
yeah, let me just because I know I'm gonna probably get some messages like, "You got that one wrong."
I think one thing that really turned me off from Marvel movies is because, like, I think they were
Thanos. Thank you,
oh,
Kratos.
Thanos.
I
Oh,
said
Thanos.
Kratos. I get the
Yeah,
O's. Thanos. Thank you, Wit. Thank you, Wit. Sage me there.
yeah.
Um, so but go ahead. I
Oh,
interrupted you.
no, Thanos is actually a really cool character, but, I don't know, I was I think there's a lot of references to the Norse mythology that they try to have with, like, Thor and their characters, but it doesn't live up to the actual
The
stories,
source
and
material.
yeah, probably because it's, like, Disneyfied, and I kind
Mm.
of went on a rant on this in kind of my past like, one of my later streams that, like, there's too many things that are Disneyfied. I love Disney movies, but when you try to incorporate, like, Star Wars and, like, violent themes, and Disney owns them, it just never hits the mark for me.
Ooh, this is a I love this conversation because we so I agree on the idea. Like, so I am also someone about like your source material and like how like you bring that across mediums, whether that's a movie, whether that's a show, a game, a poem, like multiple, right? Um, and I think uh, you use the word Disneyfied. I think I say the commercialization of it.
Yes.
Like,
Mass commercializations fits everybody, yeah.
yeah, like I think that is where and I
Moneymakers.
which one?
Moneymakers.
Yes, yes. And I think that's where I've mentioned this a couple of times when I do like the shades of purple where it's just me talking and I especially bringing it back to gaming. I think there's sometimes where gaming does that, like where it's like a
Oh, yeah.
really solid story and the person who actually brought this closer to our attention was Rihanna Pratchett, the writer for Tomb Raider. And she wrote she like wrote Laura Croft, like the whole story. She wrote it. And she goes a lot of times like people insert like things into the story that wasn't supposed to be there, or they take stuff out
Mhm.
because it's all about gameplay mechanics. It gets really distorted. But I think with movies, I could see the same thing, right? From a gaming standpoint, you would say like, oh, like this character's story arc doesn't make sense, or like you left this hanging. But I think when we talk about movies and you talked about the Disneyfication of it, it's almost like there's too many competing interests. So like,
Yeah, maybe. That's it, yeah. I think that might be the way it was going, yeah.
yeah. So that's really interesting because who has just decided to release a lot of their IP to a lot of gaming companies.
Final Fantasy? Or no, I don't know.
Disney.
Oh,
Disney.
yeah.
Disney
Oh,
has started. So for the longest time, Disney I may actually do a purple shade on this. Disney
yeah.
actually was not really good at making their own games. Like they
Yeah.
just weren't good. And so then they like shut down their gaming studios and then they kind of like trickled out like a few of their IPs, but now they're kind of like sending their IPs out everywhere. So it's going to be interesting.
That's interesting because speaking of, like, Disney and games, and I know out of commission, you were mentioning, Kingdom Hearts earlier, and I'm just starting Kingdom Hearts, but from what I understand, like, it's a substantially good game with Disney characters, and it has a lot of depth in it, and it sounds like maybe we could get more Kingdom Heart type games, and I would be all for that, or even yeah, seeing Disney characters in kind of that, I don't know, different light or something, yeah.
Yeah, they may. Well, who is that? Square Enix? Square Enix does Kingdom
Uh,
Hearts?
I think it was, yeah, Square and Disney, yeah.
Square and Disney did that? No, I mean, I'm interested to see where it's gonna go in the gaming world. I will say that I'm not gonna like, certain people know how I feel about this, but FCAT knows how I feel about it. I what is if you're what's the opposite of cautiously optimistic?
Uh, Pessimistic, but I
Outwardly
mean, there's a
pessimistic? Like, overly
cautious
pessimistic?
because cautiously optimistic is kinda pessimistic
Is
too.
it? Okay.
Um,
So
yeah.
I'm kind of
Okay.
I'm kind of I'm gonna be I'm skeptical.
Oh, yes, yeah.
I'm skeptical
Yeah.
of the pivot that we're seeing with the commercialization of games, and yeah, we'll see, we'll see.
I totally get you, and I would love to hear more of your thoughts too on this because, yeah, there's definitely I've been playing a lot of older games recently, and, the way that games are nowadays, I find it so rare to find games that have heart and aren't, like, going and just for a commercialization, just what I've observed when companies start out and they're indie, it's happened it's still happening today. When they're indie, they make, like, such amazing games with a small team, and they don't have shareholders, yet, and now they get bought up out by big companies, and, this is me being pessimistic for sure, and just, like, working in business, just, like, knowing what KPIs are and reading, like, key performance indicators for, like, Fortune 500 companies in the past. It's all about the shareholders, and it's really disheartening that, like, these people who have so much passion in the games, they have to either live up to what the shareholders say, and a lot of times they're like people in business suits that probably don't even play games. And then they like see these like games that are getting popular and then try to copy that, but they don't even yeah, there's not like that passionate in it anymore, or they get laid off. So, or they get like completely
Or they
demolished.
get all of them. And out of commission, have I seen the speech the head of Larian Studios made for Game of the Year winnings with Baldur's Gate? I have from the last one, the Game Awards. I have. So I am a really big just to and I'll bring this back to what you just said, Inniyolk. Um so I'm a huge fan of Bjorn. Dad plays games, that is. He is a huge Larian Studios fan and their CEO. And so he's the first one who like really brought it to my attention, the guy and how he thinks. But the company I really like is Moon Studios. They're the ones who did Ori, and they just recently did No Rest for the Wicked. Like they're doing that demo for No Rest for the Wicked. And I think there is something to be said about what you just said there, Inniyolk, which is this idea. You use the word heart, I say the word soul. Like I
Mhm,
think there's this thing like gaming as a medium. Like, right, what are you trying to show me as an artist? And I know Rudix is also like gaming as art. Like he like breaks down and cries half the time when he talks about it. But I do think that's a thing. Like gaming isn't just like a game mechanic, if that makes sense. Like you
mhm.
push this button, go forward. Like a lot of times it's like, what are you trying to tell? Like, what is the story you're trying to tell? Like, or what are you trying to convey? Now, obviously, if you're playing something like name your arena shooter, right? Which is just like that's different. But like the actual art of telling a story, conveying something, I think is starting to be missed in certain games. And I talked about and you commented on my video about this, with Hellblade, right?
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I wrote, like,
you're
a paragraph.
yeah, no, but I think but so here's the thing that was really unique about that, because people who played the first one, the majority, I'm not gonna say the vast majority, but the majority of the people who played the first one before it was bought out, before like understood what that, even if you go play it now, you understand like there's a complete story arc to that.
Mhm.
Like there's, a they bring it in, like you can kind of tell what they're trying to convey. but then you play the second one and it's like not bad. Let me make that very clear. There are
Yeah, the
bad
story was good,
it was good, but
but
it was like it's missing something. Like
oh, yeah.
you're trying to find what that's missing. And I think what I could say that about a lot of the games coming out now, right? Even the ones that are making like huge splashes. Like um when you play an older game, it's kind of different. Like you mentioned the games that make you cry, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think there's something to be said about that.
Yeah, and, that's just how I like to play games. I like to play story-based games. Well, but if it's a game that's just a movie, like how I thought Hellblade 2 was, and that's not something I like either. I think there's people who don't care about story, they like the grind. There's games for them out there like that. There could be people love live service games. There's games for those people out there. But what irks me is, like, a game studio that made something so great before, and then I feel like it just been a downgrade, and I usually don't I usually don't complain about games much on my channel, but I just something about, like, leaving a comment on your channel or talking with you now, like, I just feel the need to, I don't know,
Oh,
express that.
yeah, no, I think that's what this is your shades of purple. Like, and I appreciate you bringing that up because I think a lot of people would suggest the same thing, and that's why I try to champion the games that I think are either like really fun, like so a game that doesn't necessarily, hey King, um, have the most amazing story, but really has I think brought Rouster and I really close. Like Orcs Must Die, like that's a super fun game.
Mhm.
But then there's other games that I think just are like probably not a commercial like huge game of the year and so forth. Um, but are just amazing pieces of art that I will always just be like, yeah, that is like and I'm like well done. And it could be something pretty simple. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where that leaves us as a gaming community.
I just wanna see, like, more heart and soul, but with actual, like, heart and soul, yeah, that's what's missing, yeah.
Yeah, heart and soul and gaming. And hey, Jesse, and y'all, if you did not check it out, Jesse was playing Helldivers 2. I was over there earlier watching Jesse play that. Thanks for stopping by, Jesse. But no, I totally hear you. And I know we kind of went over. I know you were like about an hour you had to give us. So
Oh, it's
I
already
don't
been an hour?
I know it's been an hour. It goes by so fast, and like I could talk about eggs in the gaming industry in my favorite games for a while.
Oh, speaking of eggs, EPS just texted me, he is with you, he does salt and pepper after scrambled eggs,
Oh
so,
my goodness, is that gonna
yeah.
cause like a
I don't know,
argue?
we're not food compatible in our relationship, it seems.
Oh,
Just
no
kidding.
joke.
Love you, EPS, but yeah,
S-
that's maybe one of us will have to adjust,
Yeah. So here's
compromise.
and so like in so I do want to just get back why I said that, right? Like, because I am not anti salting before, but I think it has to salt and pepper before that is, but it has to do with how I cook steaks.
Oh, also, what kind of salt do you use? It's not just the one that you shake out, do you, like, crack it or because that depends too, it's like flaky salt?
So interesting. So you're saying like, is it like, am I going to like get a salt rock and like break it open? Like, so it really depends on the like. So
Yeah.
this is actually getting super scientific.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it
um,
because I wanna know too what's the best.
No, I think it's all so my mom and I have come to the conclusion that it just is on your taste styles. Like we actually are bigger proponents on how you make scrambled eggs than how you season the scrambled eggs. Right? Like, is
Mhm.
there a solid custard there? Are you like letting it like how are you
Ooh.
heating it up? Like, I think that makes a bigger difference
Mhm.
than when you salt. So I'll leave it at
Mm.
that.
Now you got me thinking because at first I was like, "Oh, I salt before, it doesn't matter." Like, "Okay, if you wanna salt after," but now I'm thinking like, maybe it does matter.
Yeah.
Maybe what if you want, like, flaky salt on top after? But if you put flaky salt before, it just what's the point, you know?
Well, it's all I think it all like I said, I'm a proponent like how you cook it, right?
Yeah.
Are you someone like do you have your skillet and you just like
Mhm.
slowly heat it up? Are
Mm.
you heating it up pretty fast? Some people like do the mixing.
Yeah. Is it like, is it chunky or like Gordon Ramsay, like, slurry and
Exactly.
stuff?
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or you know, the one where you like let it go slow, slow, and then you let
Mhm.
it start getting a little bit um it starts taking shape, then you like flip it.
Oh, yes, or like the crazy Japanese omurice that I'm still trying to perfect and stuff,
What? Which
but
one is it?
you know, with the pocket of
Oh.
scrambled egg inside the omelet, and then you
Oh,
slice it open, and it's
yes.
like
Yes,
yeah,
yes. That's
that's
I
sort of
don't
an
e
omelet. I
that's
don't
an
know.
omelet. Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say that is like a fancy I wouldn't say
Yeah.
that's a scrambled egg.
Yeah, that's true. It starts as because they
It's
stir it a lot.
but then they change it. I don't know. And then there's
Yeah.
some people who use like, oh, what is it? They use like boiling water to heat the egg. There's a lot of
Oh, yeah. The
like, have you
tornado
seen
egg, like y
Yes!
mhm.
Yes, like,
So
and
many.
there's so many different ways, and that's why I'm a bigger proponent of that than the actual salting.
It's a technique,
It's a
yes.
technique thing, but there everybody's like, "These 2 way too much about" but this is Inniyolk. When are we else are we gonna talk about eggs? When else?
Yeah, yes. All for the
Uh,
eggs.
go
All
for
for the
the
eggs.
there look at the I mean, you should do you have an Etsy store? Can we, like, purchase
No,
this?
I don't have an Etsy store, so this took me, like because it's my first pillow, it took me I did it over, like, 3 days. A lot of the stitching on the side took forever, but maybe I'll, like, put an Etsy store for, like, littler ones or something, but we'll see.
And also congratulations, you hit 500 subscribers
Oh, yeah, thanks,
recently.
guys. Thanks.
500. So if you haven't, please go subscribe to Inniyolk so we can get her to 1,000. 1,000, right? That's next milestone.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
You're like, and and if you leave me your link to whatever other challenge you want, we will definitely put them in the description when this goes live.
Yeah,
Or
like, and, I'll probably now that I've revealed, like, my face, I will link all my other channels in my actual channel homepage. So, my handle is just at Inniyolk, Inni Yolk, Yolk, and, if you just scroll to the bottom, maybe I'll put it somewhere easier, like in my about me, you'll find Linda Says Things, which is my, like, cooking channel, but I talk about finance, I have my cancer story in there as well, and then I'll link my Linda Say Music, so you could listen to my karaoke, I guess, on there, karaoke covers, I guess, so, that will all be on my Inniyolk channel, and you can
oh
find me
my
there,
goodness.
and
Well,
you stream almost every night, so, yeah.
thank you so much. And I think you're going to be streaming after this, right?
I think tonight I'm gonna take a break. I feel like people haven't seen enough of my face, maybe. They're
Oh
just
my
like,
no.
don't
Like I
wanna
think
hear my voice too much."
the thing I like about your because I watched, like I said, recently, for some reason it's like YouTube like rotates who I get notifications from.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
like you've been kind of there in May. Like, and so I was able to get your Hi-Fi Rush streams, your Cyberpunk streams. Um, and I think it's, like, pretty cool, like, because I'll have you, like, on, like, 'cause I'm working and lurking a lot of times, so I'll just have you on, and I just like the conversation you have going
Yeah.
on, so that's,
I
like,
talk
super
about
cool.
random stuff for sure, yeah.
No, I love it, I love it, like, that's how I found, he was in earlier, Lo-Fi.
Oh,
Lo-Fi is an
yeah.
y'all have, like, kind of the same way that, like, I feel like you're having a conversation, and it's like what I would think, but you're answering it. It's kinda cool. It's kind of this cool little thing like I do. So I like to have it, and if y'all have not checked her out, go check her out. And if you're listening to the podcast, subscribe to YouTube, um, for the latest
Subscribe. Okay.
subscribe to it. Um, and yeah, and so for everybody else sake, yeah, I'm putting the podcast on Spotify now because Jeff Janak has been
Woo!
pushing me in that direction.
Yay!
So we are going to start that process here. So I started saying that. So thank you, Inniyolk, for telling your story. Also, for just being so personal and open about your journey. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
um, to the cancer survivor, wow, that is seriously, I don't think the word is congrats, but,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
whatever. Yeah.
But it's definitely, something, so thank you for that, and y'all, if you have not, go back and listen to it, just the whole journey. Inniyolk is amazing, but any last words, Inniyolk, before we shut it down for today?
Thank you so much for having me. And you guys, thank you such cool comments coming out in chat. And yeah, definitely if you want to see more streams from me, I'll be streaming almost every night, except Wednesdays. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for coming on and just being open, like I said. And this is the first time we had an interview. Like we did, I don't know, Chad, how many did we do initially? We did like 60 in a row. And then well, Stadia died and we just kind of ran out of content creators to interview. And so we're slowly trying to get back into that. But thank you. And the face reveal, that was I was like, no need to do that, but you did anyway, and super awesome. Thank you so much, just for everything. So yeah, but with that said, y'all, it's about that time where I say I don't care where you stream, how you stream, why you stream, what you stream on, how long you've been streaming. As long as you're streaming, you're good with me. And as always, this is Purple Haze, and the proof is in the plane. And then Inniyolk, if you can stay on just a little bit once the credits and everything go. But for everybody else, thank you so much. And we are going to be playing Bindi. I promise. I promise we will not be in the maze looking for what we did last Sunday. But with that said, thank you so much, Inniyolk. Thank you, chat, as always. And we'll see you next time. All right. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.